And welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be talking about XSPA. Now the charts are a little bit messed up due to the reverse split, so I'm going to be using as well an exterior chart that I'm going to be importing in a minute. Now, just taking a quick look into just a bit of the technical analysis and the news. The stock had an offering recently, but it is closing out sometime, I believe, on Friday. So Monday that should have been done. The offering was close to be around 5.253, so it's still below above the price that it is right now, and the offering price is let's say around a few percent above 2 to 3% rise might be seen on Monday just due to the closing of the offering. But however, I want to look into a bit of the longer growth. Now, this stock has had a good run before, and so the amount of increase that you might see might not be as magnitudes as you've seen before. Now, first things first, I'm going to be looking at different technical analysis, and then I'm going to be looking at the current support levels. So, one thing that I really want to point on, and I'm going to be looking first on the imported chart from another website, Stock Charts, just because they were able to properly import that stock split, reverse split that changed my charts here. So first things first, you can see the moving averages. I know this is 50 and 200 MA, which is a bit of different averages I use, but they serve almost the same knowledge factor, that they're coming in very close to each other, and that might be more of a bad sign for a reversal. Next thing is the RSI, which is a bit of an inverted William percent R, but it still serves the same information. It's more going a bit on the neutral side to overbought side, and it's declining to the over sold side. So that means it's being more dumped from the bag holders, and you can see that there's massive amount of bag holders that bought the stock but not dumped it yet in a way. They're using the MACD here of 12, 26, and 9, which is similar to the one I use, just on a larger scale, and you can see that there's a negative indicator going in, increasing in time around here. So overall for this stock, it looks like it has a massive growth. It's receiving a pullback, and whether we see a gap up, that would be depending on PR. Now let's try to look into a little bit of an intra scale on my charts here. We can get to see that the stock has been a little bit dumped around here, but you still have a large amount of bag holders, so that might be a bit of a rough sign. But I would like to go on to the 5 days, 2 hour period. Actually, let's extend it a little bit. Okay, around here. So it's not going to populate everything, but it's going to still give me a little bit of indicators, so we can see that the average directional index is directing that it's starting a trend. And it seems that trend is a bit on the positive, around 2.46 in the aftermarket. Now, aftermarket can easily be moved around, so that's a little bit of a dangerous thing to take account for. Now, in terms of the bag holders, we can see that it has dropped significantly since the 17th. So that's a good sign of consolidating and might be primed for growth. We can see the MACD here is primed for growth as well, but what we could have is similar to what we had the day before, where it's seen an increase and then following a decrease. So you need to be very careful and you need to look into the pre-market. Now, in terms of the William percent R, we can see here as well same knowledge that is being relayed in the other one, where it is becoming in more of neutral. The unbalanced volume here, it seems to be more of a pullback with people buying it a little bit afterwards. So it's a lot of mixed signals, but you can see here that the 10 SMA and the 30 EMA are very close to each other, just as other graph, which can signal a massive either pullback or a massive jump ahead of time. So it's where reverses are likely depending on the current movement of the stock. Going into a pivot point here, we have 494, so that's kind of like a nice soft support that we're looking at. Going towards where the resistances are, the next resistance is around, I would say, 530. Yeah, around 534, and then the one after around 564. However, the next support, actual support, and not a soft support, not a pivot point, is going to be around 464. So there's quite a bit to go for in either directions. Let's try to see if I can get a Fibonacci retracements on just this here, which is going to be very difficult, especially since there was a reverse split. You can see that it's sitting at a 5.08 as somewhat of a nice support here. So I would say the current resistance once it's seen above $5.08, it might have a nice chance to run. Now, in terms of news, this company has been really good with supplying PR, and there's a lot of hype on it. So it's more of trading on hype rather than technical analysis and fundamentals. With increasing numbers of COVID and their locations testing for COVID, for travelers, that might be very lucrative, especially in terminals where you get to wait a lot. So it might see a nice income coming in. However, it still is in a little bit of a high stance of back holders, and once that sentiment of the market goes in from greed to fear for this stock, you might see a massive drop. So what you want to look at is you want to look at different things, such as in the morning where the MACD is going. You want to look at how many people are actually selling versus buying. If you start seeing large amounts of buying versus selling and a higher volume, that is a good sign. So once volume spikes again, such as in here for instance, especially in the pre-market, that usually is a bad sign. That's been my DD. So my personal opinion for the stock is I wouldn't touch it because the drop chances are a lot higher, and it's trading above the 50-week low and quite a bit, and closer to the 50-week high. And so my risk tolerance would not allow me to buy this, but that's just been my own opinion. Make sure you do your own DD. You can like, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.